And more protests are planned for today in Baltimore over the death of George Floyd. Several happened over the weekend.
Yeah, city police did arrest about a dozen people over the weekend, but city leaders say for the most part the demonstrations here have been peaceful. We've got WMAR 2 News' Megan Knight outside City Hall right now. There was a powerful moment, Megan, between the police and the protesters over the weekend.
Yeah, there really was, Christian. We'll get to that in just a second. But first, we want to show you something that you don't usually see down here at City Hall, at least not at 4:30 in the morning. We've got about 3 or 4 cop cars that are parked here along Lexington Street, right between City Hall and the fire police headquarters here, and likely just making sure that there aren't mischief makers who come back out. We know there was a couple people who spray painted graffiti on City Hall over the weekend, as well as the monuments out here. So just keeping a watchful eye over things. There's still a couple of dump trucks around City Hall here, likely again from the weekend. But as you mentioned, those protests were very peaceful this weekend. There was a large group that gathered outside Baltimore Police headquarters. They were carrying a sign that had the names of African-American victims of police brutality and other acts of violence, and they were met by Lieutenant Peter Herron, who came outside and actually started reading the names off of that sign. Take a listen.
Arbery. Next day. Trayvon Martin. Next day. Freddie Gray. Next day. Jordan. Next day. Evan Hicks. Next day.
The city leaders called the protests over the weekend, again, mostly peaceful. At one point, things did take a turn. That was Saturday night. Some vandals breaking glass windows on storefronts, tried setting things on fire. Baltimore police say they did arrest 12 adults and 2 juveniles for attempted arson, burglary, and assault. But for the majority of the demonstrators who came out, they wanted to make sure that their message was being heard. They're demanding change, calling an end to racism and police brutality against African Americans and other minorities.
We are tired of the lack of accountability to police officers throughout this nation. We were asking for change at any and all levels, and we want to be heard.
You know, and this stuff is happening too often and on a regular, like the police got licensed to kill. And I'm standing here because it's not right.
Now, there are a couple of other protests that are planned for today, including one that is expected to end down at police headquarters, just about a block down from where we're standing at City Hall. And city leaders are reminding people that we are still dealing with COVID-19, still in the middle of this pandemic. So if you do plan to come out and protest today, just make sure that you are wearing your mask and you're maintaining social distancing while you demonstrate. We're live at City Hall. I'm Megan Knight, WMAR 2 News.